We will take them before last night's beer. Every gun, every bullet will be brought to me for inspection.
Raise a hand, all those who want to strike.
Thomas Shelby built an empire on 3 rules. Know everything before your enemy thinks it. Make your reputation scarier than your violence. Kill your emotions before they kill you. While other gangsters relied on brute force, Tommy turned information into currency. He planted informants in every corner of Birmingham, from barmaids to politicians. He didn't just gather intelligence, he weaponized it, made his unpredictability a strategy, used his war trauma as armor. The result? He controlled an entire city through psychological warfare. Today, we expose the 3 dark strategies behind Tommy's rise to power. Strategy 1. Information as currency. Tommy Shelby understood that information equals power long before the digital age.
Boys.
He built an intelligence network that stretched across every level of society, from street cleaners to government officials. This network became his most valuable weapon. Tommy recruited informants from all social classes. Charlie Strong,
Move around and the guilt catches up with you.
his uncle and yard manager, provided information about dock activities and shipping schedules. Johnny Dogs, a Romani ally, delivered intelligence from the traveling communities. Barmaids, shopkeepers, and factory workers all fed information to the Peaky Blinders. Tommy understood that people talk to those they trust, and he made sure his people were everywhere. The psychology behind Tommy's information gathering was simple but effective. He offered protection, money, or favors in exchange for information. People willingly became his eyes and ears because he provided something they needed. A shopkeeper facing threats from rival gangs would gladly report suspicious activities in exchange for Peaky Blinders protection. A barmaid struggling with rent would share conversations she overheard for extra money. Tommy weaponized this knowledge against both enemies and allies. In Season 1, during his meeting with Inspector Campbell, Tommy used information about Campbell's personal life and government connections to turn the interrogation in his favor. He knew about Campbell's methods, his superiors, and his weaknesses before they even met. This preparation allowed Tommy to negotiate from a position of strength rather than desperation. The art of selective information sharing became Tommy's trademark. He never disclosed everything he knew at once. Instead, he parceled out information strategically, keeping opponents off balance and allies dependent on him. When dealing with the Italian gang led by Sabini, Tommy shared just enough intelligence to appear cooperative, while holding back crucial details that could be used later. Tommy's ability to stay 3 steps ahead came from his chess-like thinking. While others reacted to immediate threats, Tommy anticipated moves that hadn't been made yet. He gathered information not just about current situations, but about potential future scenarios. This forward-thinking approach allowed him to prepare contingency plans and counter strategies before his enemies even formed their initial plans. Strategy 2. Controlled unpredictability. Tommy Shelby perfected the balance between being feared and respected through calculated unpredictability. His reputation for violence was carefully crafted and strategically deployed. Tommy's most shocking moments served specific strategic purposes. His violence was never random or emotional. Every brutal act sent a message to a particular audience. When he executed enemies in public spaces, he ensured word would spread quickly through Birmingham's criminal networks. The goal was not just to eliminate threats, but to prevent future challenges through intimidation. The power of reputation became Tommy's greatest asset. Stories about his ruthlessness spread faster than facts, creating an aura of invincibility. Criminal rivals often backed down before confronting the Peaky Blinders because Tommy's reputation preceded him. This psychological warfare was more effective than actual violence because it prevented conflicts rather than just winning them. Tommy orchestrated displays of power to maintain his fearsome image. During confrontations with rival gangs, he would arrive with overwhelming force, demonstrating his resources and organization. These shows of strength were carefully planned, theater designed to discourage opposition and reinforce his position as Birmingham's most powerful criminal leader. The art of betrayal became another tool in Tommy's arsenal. His relationship with Alfie Solomons exemplified this strategy. Tommy maintained business relationships with potential enemies, gathering intelligence while appearing cooperative. When betrayal served his purposes, he executed it without hesitation. However, he also understood when to forgive betrayals if they could be turned to his advantage later. Tommy kept enemies close, not out of forgiveness, but out of strategic necessity. By maintaining relationships with untrustworthy allies, he could monitor their activities and influence their decisions. Alfie Solomons repeatedly betrayed Tommy, but their ongoing relationship allowed Tommy to predict Alfie's behavior and use it for his own purposes. Strategy 3: Emotional detachment and compartmentalization. Tommy's World War I experience fundamentally shaped his approach to control. His post-traumatic stress disorder became both a weakness and a strategic advantage. The war forged Tommy's mind into a weapon. His emotional numbness, while personally destructive, allowed him to make brutal decisions without hesitation. Where others might be paralyzed by moral considerations, Tommy could execute necessary but unpleasant actions immediately. This emotional detachment gave him a crucial advantage in life or death situations. Tommy separated business decisions from personal feelings with surgical precision. When Grace Burgess was revealed as an undercover agent, Tommy's love for her didn't prevent him from treating her as a security threat. He compartmentalized his emotions, allowing his strategic mind to operate without interference from his heart. This separation enabled him to make decisions based on logic and necessity rather than emotion and desire. Tommy sacrificed personal relationships for strategic gain repeatedly throughout the series. His treatment of family members often prioritized business considerations over emotional bonds. When John Shelby wanted to marry Lizzie Stark, Tommy's opposition was based on strategic concerns about the family's reputation rather than personal objections to the relationship. Managing loyalty through fear and respect required constant balancing. Tommy maintained control over his family and gang through a combination of protection and intimidation. He ensured his people understood that loyalty was rewarded, but betrayal was punished severely. His brothers Arthur and John remained loyal partly out of family bonds, but also because they understood the consequences of opposing Tommy's leadership. The delicate balance between being loved and feared required Tommy to demonstrate both protection and punishment. He showed his people that following his leadership brought benefits, while opposing him brought destruction. This dual approach created loyalty based on both affection and self-preservation. The dark psychology behind Tommy's methods. Tommy Shelby weaponized his own psychological damage to manipulate others. His trauma from the war became a source of strength in criminal negotiations. Opponents who tried to intimidate him discovered that traditional threats had no effect on someone already broken by battlefield horrors. Tommy identified and exploited psychological weaknesses in others. He studied people's fears, desires, and insecurities, then used this knowledge to control their behavior. A gambling addict could be controlled through debt. An ambitious politician could be manipulated through promises of advancement. A family man could be influenced through threats to loved ones. The illusion of choice became Tommy's signature manipulation technique. He presented options to others while ensuring all paths led to outcomes that served his purposes. During negotiations, he would offer multiple alternatives, making people feel they were choosing their fate while actually directing them toward predetermined conclusions. Tommy built mystique around his persona, understanding that legends could be more powerful than reality. He cultivated an image of supernatural cunning and ruthlessness. This mystique became self-reinforcing as people attributed successes to his genius and explained failures as part of larger, incomprehensible schemes. Tommy Shelby's strategies of information gathering, controlled unpredictability, and emotional detachment created a criminal empire built on fear, respect, and strategic intelligence. These methods, while fictional, demonstrate the dark psychology of control and manipulation. However, Tommy's ultimate isolation and paranoia tells the true cost of absolute power: the destruction of human connections and the creation of a prison built from one's own success. If you enjoyed this analysis of Tommy Shelby's dark strategies, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more deep insights into power and psychology, and let me know in the comments which of his tactics you think was the most dangerous.